Actually, I have no idea what Udon is talking about there, but it's kind of cute. I really like her voice. It's one of the more fun to listen to voices in the game. She really does sound like a mischievous person who play pranks on people all the time or something like that. Anyway, I'm not so sure what we're gonna do in today's episode, but we're definitely gonna start things off with PvP like usual. So let me just check if my food salts have their fallen angels equipped. This looks good. Everything looks good, like it should. So let's go ahead and just start the PvP right away. I'm also still not sure about Bonito Rice versus Steak. I feel like Bonito Rice has potential, but he's also missing something. Not so sure what exactly, so I'm switching back to Steak for now. And we're gonna pick...
B52 行きます.
Alright, definitely want to put that on 2x speed. We don't want to fall asleep here. This team wouldn't be so bad if it weren't for Tiramisu. As always, healers just don't add so much to a PvP fight. So, yeah. We should see a pretty easy win here. It's just 2 DPS remaining on the enemy side. And that wasn't really anything to talk about. Down he goes. Let's see. Any good opponents here? Okay, we have someone here. Let's look at them a bit more closely. That is actually a pretty good team. 3 stars Peking Duck, 3 stars Foy, 3 stars. Yeah, that's a pretty good team. And I actually think that Hilalin is actually in my guild. I think it's one of the new people we've recruited. I'll have to check. I want to check that right now just to make sure. Let's see. Info. I think Hilalin was in our guild. Somewhere here. Yep, here we go. She has a really good team. Really good PvP team. I am gonna fight her team just because I'm curious, and you know, I'm always fighting guildmates when I see them in the showdown. This is actually only the second time that I've noticed a teammate, guildmate, so really excited about that. I am probably gonna lose. Her team looks much stronger than mine. But that's just the price you pay for playing with some guildmates teams. So let's go and look at her team in detail. That team is really what I would probably consider the strongest team in PvP right now, minus the tank. She could have a better tank, but for DPS, really that is probably the strongest team you can currently have in PvP. Of course, there might be some other DPS that are as strong, but this is a seriously good team that she's having there. You have a really hefty amount of damage, really big amount of crowd control, so don't stand a chance here. But it's always fun to see a good team in action, especially if it's from a guildmate. We're gonna swap this out now and actually go for a few points here. So we're going with a different team that we can actually beat. But yeah, I'd rather see strong teams in here that I actually can't really beat. So I feel like I actually have to do something, giving me a little bit of motivation to make my PvP team a bit stronger than, you know, seeing all these one soul teams that just That is so sad because there's no challenge. Really hope that the further I level up, the more challenging the PvP actually goes, and then in the late game at max level or something like that, I really do hope that PvP is gonna be really challenging and I can really focus a bit more on my PvP team, trying to climb that ladder a bit more. But aside of a few good teams here and there, there's really not much of a challenge. The best team right now is probably bottom right. It's a pretty strong team, but I do feel like we have the edge because they are using a healer. So I'm not too afraid to go into this team. But we'll see, you never know. I think the B-52 was rather strong on their side. We'll just have to see. Maybe this isn't as easy as I thought it would be. We're definitely having more DPS, and now we don't have a tank to go through anymore, so we are 1 DPS ahead. So as long as we can keep this up, we're good. This might be a bit too close though. This actually is not looking good. Yeah, we're definitely gonna lose this. I was a bit too optimistic there. Good team. I actually really don't mind losing, you know. The amount of points you get is so small. I'd rather see good fights over getting points. So I'm usually gonna pick the strongest opponent and see how we're gonna square off against them. Really, I think the biggest difference here was probably the B-52. Their B-52 was really strong. You could tell just by how much damage he was doing at the end there. Eventually I also want to level up my B-52 some more. Just not really my priority right now. But as always, the UR tanks are kind of lackluster. Whenever I see a UR tank, I'm really not that concerned. Especially at 0 stars. They just can't hold up. Even with healers supporting them. Yeah, this fight was heavily in our favor, but was never really anything to talk about. Let's see, we are out of fights. There's a good team though here in the bottom right. That would be fun to fight against. Let's pick up our rewards. And I think I already raided the store. Yeah, we already did. Alright. I still have those... that stamina that I could get from here. Now we're over stamina, so... oof. I'm gonna prepare a little bit of my airship here. Specifically cooking a little bit of cold tofu. Because it is still my staple food right now. I'm still using cold tofu to grow my restaurant. And to really... gain more fame. Should buy a few more salients eventually. But for now we're just gonna make 6 of these. Gain a heap of stats. It's great. 844. I do hope that we get 6 fame per tofu now. We're just gonna check real fast. Oh wait, we don't have any tofu left, so we're not gonna be able to check right now. This is a bit bad. Now I'm getting quests for Gloryville cuisine. Ugh. Let's go with pirates. But other than that, we're good. We still have stuff cooking. There's nothing here. So let's open up our chests. We always have a bunch of chests from the public orders. I'd like to do all 3 public orders, but to be honest, 3 AM is just not a time I want to be doing a public order. 3 steak shards, that's always good to have. And a little bit of seasoning out of these. And some other stuff. Let's check real fast. I think we still have all that pending. So I suppose we will start with the guild boss because we already have a team ready. We just need to adjust the fallen angels. Let's go and do that. I also leveled up the skills of Sanma since yesterday. And I really need to reroll a few of these things. But for now I'm really mostly trying to reroll the tankiness of my Bonito Rise. How come I forgot his name? He just came out. Anyway. Tongue 1. I really need to raise her Fallen Angel as well, but it's really not a priority right now. Because she's healing enough. Definitely healing enough. So what else? Miso soup. I also really want to upgrade this Fallen Angel eventually. But for now. Also, I've heard that they actually messed up the pairing for Milt. The Fallen Angel pairing for Milt. They messed that one up. I'm not sure, but there was a Facebook post. I don't know if it was actually supposed to be Ukomochi enhanced or what, but there was a post that we'll get some diamonds for compensation. We'll have to see about that. The guild store is really frustrating. I will admit that, because there's really no need for me to buy any gold. The seasoning is tempting. The magic bottles are also tempting. But most importantly, I really want those spirit reincarnators. But we need to raise 2 more levels of that, and that might just take a while before we get there. Anyway, let's go into the guild boss. We're looking good so far, 68%, and we still have a lot of people that still need to hit today. We're looking at 49 active people, that's good. I always like to check how people are doing. But yeah, let's do our best today, and not like yesterday where we sadly were knocked out a bit too soon. Okay, same old, nothing special. I've actually talked to a few of my guildmates today about the boss, and a lot of them said that, you know, they don't really time their heals with the growls. I just like doing it because it's really simple that way. I don't really need to think too much. I just need to wait for the growl, then I heal, and then I just wait for the next growl, then I heal, and it's just a nice rhythm to have. And it's a good rhythm that other people can follow as well. If you're trying to build a team that works, that deals good amounts of damage, even though it's quite under-leveled, that's a good team you can have. This one right here, and then you just alternate between your 2 skills. Of course, Sanma is the only really rare food soul in this team. And I would definitely hope to swap out Black Tea eventually, but so far her damage is just too good. It's just a bit too good right now to swap out. Eventually, if I get a few more red wine shards, I might consider putting red wine in there instead of her. But yeah, as you can see, I'm just healing every time after the growl. Keeps me safe, especially since Miso Soup doesn't heal as frequently as other healers, since he does have that attack basic skill. Oh, come on, he's silenced. I hope that doesn't bite me in the ass here. Should be fine. We should be fine. Should be getting our miso soup skill up in time, as long as we're not silenced again. One of my guildmates also said that he's using Milt, and that works pretty well since he has Boston Lobster, and that energy skill of Boston Lobster deals a lot of damage. Also that apparently his Boston Lobster is the one that takes the most damage. So with Milt, obviously, you know, the food soul that takes the most damage benefits the most out of Milt. It's either going to be the tank or, well, whoever the bosses focus on. Well, we did get past the meteorite this time, so this looks good. Let's just keep using the heals, just to stay alive all the way, and hopefully do a bit more damage than yesterday this time around. There we go. We did 590,000. That's not so shabby. Definitely better than yesterday. But yeah, eventually I hope to upgrade my Sanma, and then we're gonna deal a lot more damage. So how are we looking? We're on 4th. That's not too bad. Pretty sure Hanayo is gonna be above me, and Kibo and Seal as well, as soon as they actually start attacking. But I'm just glad being in the top 10 of guild's attackers right now. Now it's time for the world boss, and I'm currently not so sure if I want to use Steak or if I want to use Bonito Rice.
Make a memorable impression.
I'm really not sure. I feel like Bonito Rice could do a lot better than Steak. Steak's stats are just so much higher, and he also deals damage, so even though I survive a little less of the time, I still feel like he's faring a bit better. So I think like today we're gonna use Steak and just see about the damage. I actually had hoped that Bonito Rice was gonna add a whole lot more damage, or maybe make me survive a whole lot longer than what he's making me survive right now. But sadly it's not quite that way, so we're just gonna use this and see how much defense we actually come out with. 316. That is really nice. We just don't really have any defensive skills on Steak, so we'll have to see. I always forget I don't actually need to pre-build this team because I have to reselect everything in here. And there's actually one thing I forgot. Thankfully I remembered. I need to equip my Fallen Angel back on Laba Kongi. So let's go ahead and do that. Eventually I hope that I actually get a chance to re-roll a lot of these Fallen Angels so they have higher stats. But for now I just have too many Fallen Angels to focus on. So it's kind of a slow progress. So let's see if we can beat our record of 327,000. We should be able to, because that record was made with Steak, and ever since we actually have ranked up our food souls quite a bit. So let's go
This time I'll make a memorable impression.
and see if we can make a memorable impression. But yeah, he takes a lot less damage now with that amount of defense, which is looking at 10 right now. In the end, I think the difference really mostly lies right now in Steak's offensive abilities. He's just doing more damage than Bonito Rice, therefore I have more damage in total, because Bonito Rice is not strong enough yet. His defense is not high enough yet. Kinda sad I didn't get any Gyoza shards in the last time of my summoning. I would have definitely swapped to that, And I had kind of hoped that Bonito Rice was gonna be a good alternative as a tank here. But I feel like I may actually really need 3 stars on Bonito Rice before he starts to get really good. That's a bit of a pity, considering that it's probably not gonna be possible to get him after this event. I'm secretly hoping that it's gonna be the same as Sweet Tofu, where you can still get him in Shard Fusion or something like that. And down we go, just a moment too early. We were just about to get a heal out of Lava there, so just a moment too early. But so far this doesn't look so bad, and we also have a 1 revive still. So let's use that, deal a little bit more extra damage. Hope Steak doesn't go down right away. The revive is a bit of a problem, especially because we just can't get to that energy skill out of Lava in time. And there we go. I feel like that was a good run. Let's look at the damage. 347, so we beat our record. So it's safe to say that right now Steak is a better option for me to take along, because while he may not be as tanky, the added DPS from his off-tank position is really helping me out. And I'm also slowly but surely building toward 4 stars on him. It's definitely much more realistic than Bonito Rice, which is a bit of a pity. I had actually hoped that Bonito Rice would really make a big difference here. But that doesn't change the fact that I am still going to level up that Staunch Spectra, and Bonito Rice is going to benefit from that as well. So maybe eventually, you know, we don't know yet if he's going to stay in the pool or not. So we're just going to have to see. I almost want to say I regret that I've spent so much on Bonito Rice, now that it's obvious that Steak deals more damage. But that's not really true. Bonito Rice is still a very nice, unique healer, and it didn't really cost me that much to get him to 2 stars. It was definitely an investment, but I'm already recovering, you know, I'm already up to 200 crystals again, and we're looking at 643 souls. I'm kind of hoping that the next 1 or 2 events are going to be something that I can skip without worrying too much about it. You know, events like Udon or restaurant event or something like that, where we can recuperate a little bit, maybe get a bit of stamina out of these events. The restaurant events definitely give you a lot of stamina most of the time, so saving up the chests you get there is one option, obviously, because there might be another stamina based event like Lava Kongi. But I do feel like every time that there's a stamina based event and I really want someone, there's probably a way for me to be able to get that even without spending all that stamina. And for Lava Kongi specifically, I couldn't have gotten her to 3 stars without spending any crystals. That would have definitely been impossible. And that kind of means that even if I have a ton of stamina potions, it's not like it's gonna make me not have to spend any crystals in any of these events. These events are all gonna be structured the same way, so that you can get the food salts without spending crystals, but it's probably always gonna be the case that you will definitely have to spend crystals in order to enhance them, in order to get more of them, in order to really make the most out of them. And at least with SR food salts, it's not as expensive. I'm currently having my eyes on 2 SR food salts that I am definitely considering, that if it's not too hard during their events, to try and get to 5 stars, or at least to like 3 or 4 stars. Those I'm definitely looking forward to, and the food salts in question would be Yunnan noodles and Jjekbokki, or whatever you'd pronounce it as. It's a Korean food, and it's the small sister of kimchi. I will link you to their wiki pages down below, so you can look at them yourselves. I am specifically having picked out those 2 food salts because they're really what I'm looking for in food salts right now, at this moment. Right now I'm looking for heavy one target attackers for the world boss, the guild boss. Eventually there's gonna be different types of world bosses as well. I have read that on the wiki that there's at least one other type of disaster world boss that may eventually get released. Who knows? You know, maybe if we eventually are able as a server to defeat Aluna, maybe we'll get the other world boss, maybe they'll change, maybe some days it's this one, some days it's that one. It may have to require different strategy. Maybe you're not gonna have to run a tank there, maybe more HP is better there, or you just have to stack damage or something like that. You never know, but one thing that is definitely holding true is that attackers for bosses are always good, and crowd control is always good. There's not so much good crowd control food salts coming out in the future from what I've seen. There's a few interesting ones. I'm not so sure about Pizza. His skill set is a little weird. Kimchi has a very interesting skill set. Caviar obviously is also looking very interesting with just how good his skills are. But since it's a UR, I'm not gonna go super crazy on that and might actually skip it. I know it sounds crazy, but I might just skip Caviar, because if he's event exclusive, there's almost no point. You know, I might summon a few times for good measure because I might get him, and then if I get him again in a future event or something like that, you know, that's great. Because eventually you're gonna hit that point in the game where your Sanma is max level, your red wine is max level, and you have a full maxed out team for the world boss and for the guild boss. And then you can really go all out in these events, because every event that comes out is really offering you something that is new, and you don't really need to keep your stuff for anything else. So you just go all out in these events because you already have everything you need together. But yeah, definitely looking forward to the next few events, but really hoping we get a little bit of a breather, and there's a few out there that I could skip, one or two. That would be really nice. For now, this concludes the episode. Okay, I'm not so sure how Udon could be hurt by a mouse, but it did happen. So let's see, there's still one thing I'm curious about. We are getting 6 fame per dish right now. I am very happy about that. We've made another really big improvement here. Let's see who has more freshness left. Oh, they both have the same amount. I also really want to upgrade a few of my kitchen staff, but right now it's not a priority. I may look at it in a few weeks, or maybe next week or something like that, when I feel like I'm dealing enough damage. And yeah, then I may look to upgrade a few of these 300 freshness ones to 350, upgrade some of the 350 ones to 400, and some of the 400 ones to 450 freshness. That would definitely be good. So let's put another food salt in here. Because but we're definitely looking at these food salts right now. When I'm looking at them, I realize that I really need to upgrade them, because I always wake up to exhausted waiters with food still left. So I can definitely still get a bit more out of get a bit more fame out of my restaurant every night, and that's really the main goal here, that you don't have to look at your restaurant all the time, and you can really just relax and only check it every hour or so, because you have enough food and the cooking times are short enough, and you know, stuff like that. But yeah, definitely happy that we finally managed to get 6 fame per dish. Let me know in the comments below what you think about upcoming food salts, which food salts you're looking forward to if you have any of those, and how you feel about, you know, the events in general, and how you feel about skipping some of them, or even skipping something like caviar, so if you think it's a good strategy. I feel like for free-to-play players it's more important to really direct your resources where it gives you the most amount of strength and benefit, rather than trying to get everything, because these games are designed that you just can't get anything, or everything at least, without spending money. So for free-to-play players, or players that don't want to spend a lot of money, really just resource managing is the most important thing, and sometimes that sadly has to include skipping certain events. Are there any events that you regret going full out in? There's definitely one that I regret, and that is sweet and sour fish. I don't remember how many crystals I spent in order to get her pretty early in the event, but I do feel like I spent a few too many, and I probably should have not done that. But now I have her, and that's one event that I feel like I regret just a tiny bit. Another one that I regret just a little bit is Raindrop Cake. I was able to get him to 1 star because it was not so hard in his event to enhance him to 1 star or 2 stars. Wish Milt was as simple to upgrade than Raindrop Cake was, but I could, so I did it, and I was also hoping secretly to get Strawberry Daifuku. Sadly, that did not happen, so in the end I kind of regret it, but I couldn't know that I'm not gonna get Strawberry Daifuku. But I definitely did go out of this event with 2,000 soul embers or so remaining, so I wasn't too upset. It isn't like I spent everything I had on it. So just let me know, do you have any events you regret? And are there any food salts that you're thinking about skipping? I'm definitely thinking about skipping pizza if he comes out soon, and I'm definitely thinking about skipping a few of the other SRs that I'm not too keen on, not too impressed by, and mostly I want to focus on saving up for the 2 SRs that are coming out in the near future that are definitely really stronger than all the other SRs that are coming out in the near future. The one thing that's gonna suck about that, though, I will have to admit that, is that I will not be able to summon or spend any crystals until these events come around, so I'm probably gonna be stagnated for a while without being really able to get many shards for the food salts I really want to enhance. I'm also not gonna be able to grab any gingerbread from potential summons or something like that. But that's the price you have to pay in order to save up for the events that really matter. So it's just a game of patience and grinding every day, and then it pays off eventually. But nonetheless, we're gonna go through the daily grind every day and hopefully get a few good shard fusions and upgrade red wine. That is really currently my biggest hope, that we manage to upgrade red wine to 2 stars. It will really boost his damage. That would really be cool if we could manage to do that. Other than that, I'm also really working on Steak. We're definitely getting daily shards for him. If I do my public orders in the morning and the evening, I'm getting something like 3 shards a day, with around 70 still remaining. That is over 10 days still remaining before we can get Steak to the next level. But you never know, you never know. That's just how these games are, and I welcome you to keep watching, and maybe in one of these episodes I manage to conclude an episode without saying this is the end of the episode around 5 times. But maybe you just have to get used to it, and I'll see you tomorrow when once again we are going through the daily grind of Food Fantasy. And as always, I am still gonna grind until tomorrow. There's never a break, but for now, goodbye.